Good morning, South Florida. Welcome to another edition of UM's Frost Jazz Hour, right here on WDNA 88.9 FM, the home of serious jazz. My name is Chuck Bergeron. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the program. A special live welcome to our studio audience. Good morning, everyone. You know that each week at this time we bring you a great variety of talent from the highly acclaimed Frost School of Music, incredible student groups, alumni. Last week the dean himself was here performing. This morning is no exception. We have an incredible group of students and some visiting dignitaries. Our great saxophone and composition student, Mr. Clint Bleil, is here with some brothers in arms and some great other students from the Frost School and possibly some very special guests throughout the program. We're going to introduce you to everybody. I'm joined this morning by a dear friend of mine who's been at the university. His name is Corey Allen. Corey is a very respected and revered producer and arranger and composer. His work with the Manhattan Transfer and Kevin Mahogany and many others has been documented throughout the decades. Welcome, Corey.
Thank you very much.
We're partnering with a wonderful institution in the Dominican Republic, and we might talk with Corey about that a little bit later in the program. But our program's all about music and the students from the school. So we're going to interview Clint and talk to him throughout the program. But let's get this show started with an original composition by the band. And you're listening to this music this morning on the Frost Jazz Hour. Wow, good morning. How about a wake-up call on that? That's a great piece of music. You're listening this morning to Clint Bleil and his orchestra on the Frost Jazz Hour. Welcome to the show, Clint.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
I just got a text from Jason Cush. I let him know you guys were on the radio. He says you sound good. Shout out to Professor Cush.
Thanks, Dr. Cush. It's all thanks to you.
Man, you sound incredibly great.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, and thanks for being the leader of this group and coming in. Clint comes to us from Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, where he had attended undergraduate school, and a program that's run by a former student of ours as well, Mr. Jason Cush, wonderful musician, wonderful educator, and a wonderful recruiter for us in getting you guys here. We're going to get into everything, but first off, who is this drummer?
Well, on drums, you got to hear from Justin Vorp, who also went to Slippery Rock University, just graduated last spring.
And Mr. Vorp, when you're enrolled in my class in the fall, please make sure that you're on time at 9:30. Dude, you're in. Man, he sounds great.
Second time someone said that to him.
I don't know if I have the power to do that, but you're in. Man, please come to the Frost School. You sound great. Why don't you introduce us to everybody in the band and have the trumpet player go last?
Okay. Well, you heard from Justin Vorp, of course, on drums. On bass, the esteemed Marty Quinn. On keyboard, Connor Rohrer, a freshman who not only can play, he can read. It's impressive. And then also on guitar, who can also read and play, and you'll hear from soon, Mr. Rob Papacica. And then, of course, on trumpet, my younger brother, Adam Bleil. He studies at Wesleyan University under Jamie Moore right now in West Virginia.
Sure.
So he's doing that thing up there, and he just got a job. So he will be employed, unlike me.
Excellent. Gentlemen, all of you, though, thank you. Welcome to the program. You sound really, really great. Whose composition was that?
That last one was written by me. It's called Pandemic, maybe rightfully so. It was a bold move to start with that one. But it was actually one of the first things that I ever wrote for this group. This group sort of focuses on like funk, fusion-y kind of things, and that was a little more in the free style, but also had that kind of feel. Next thing we're going to play is written by Adam Bleil, and this is going to feature Connor Rohrer pretty heavily, and this is called Drive-In.
Okay.
That's the next one.
And just a couple more things before we let you go. You're in the master's program here. You're in Gary Lindsay's master's jazz writing program.
That's right.
Okay. And I see you working in the recording studio as well and many other things.
Yeah, and we actually have a session with this same group on Sunday, so you'll be hearing some of this music getting recorded too.
Okay. How do you like your time at Frost?
It's intense. I'm learning way more than I thought I ever would, even past saxophone to writing for big bands and small groups to writing for orchestra to trying to bust stuff out in a very quick and timely and a professional manner, and the amount of information, like drilled in your head on recording and engineering and mixing and mastering, it sort of makes you a very well-rounded musician, I think, to be able to do all that stuff, and Gary Lindsay's program just does that. And then I observe everybody else who's playing in all these groups, and it's so great to be playing with so many amazing students as well.
Right. Well, you're a good band leader, too, because you picked the cream of the crop from our school to come play this incredible music. I want to take a quick second, though. I want to introduce you to someone. This is Career Development 101. But all the things you were just talking about that you're studying with Gary Lindsay, the gentleman to your left has been doing that for 40 years, and he's one of the most respected people in the industry. This is Mr. Corey Allen. And Corey, would you have a question or two for Clint or a comment about his writing?
So who are you listening to?
Well, it sort of changes at this point in time. I guess the main influence of my writing in this vein is a lot of Chris Potter, Troy Roberts, the Void Group, and his new jive stuff. Recently, a lot of Kenny Garrett and a lot of Donnie McCaslin as well. I don't know if you guys have checked out the new Donnie McCaslin record called Blow, but that is heavy.
What?
Really
Scott Colley?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
And
I know Donnie McCaslin's playing saxophone though.
Yeah.
from a writing perspective, you have you were mixing free elements along with funk elements and all. So how do you do that?
Well,
what are you thinking about when you do it?
Yeah, I usually just try to think of. A lot of times when I'm writing, I sort of start with like a fundamental groove. I tend to write melodies second, which is good or bad depending on how you think about it. But this tune specifically came about with like that driving bass line, sort of in like a de-altered thing. But I never feel like you can really capture exactly what you're wanting to play, or you capture like all the possibilities of sound if you're like constricted like that. So I do like the idea of being able to sort of expand on different language or different ways to express yourself musically. And with the writing, I I tend to write challenging things. I think that is apparently my reputation, maybe negatively so. But I think of it as like free with structure. So the form is very specific, but what you can do in your section is very open.
The other question, just in have you explored microtonality? Have you explored anything?
Not really, and that's mainly because I'm yet to figure out how to play saxophone in tune at the regular tonality.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out the microtonality thing would be
Well, it'd be
complicated.
relatively easy then.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Once you just mess around. But no, that's something I would like to look into a little more. I'm not super familiar. I've listened to some like contemporary music where that is happening, and I know a lot. I studied classical saxophone in my undergrad as well, so I have a couple books on it. But that's opened up a can. In my
I
head.
also was thinking George Garzone used to talk about playing the other side of the horn as a saxophone player. He was saying, you learn your bebop licks and you learn the language and you learn if as a writer as well, but as a saxophonist. And then he says there comes a point where you've done that and you kind of are familiar with it and it's under your fingers and it's the muscle memory's there. And now what? And his point is there's another side that it's like going through the looking glass, and over on the other side of this thing is squeaks and squawks that but they're not squeaks and squawks if you control them and you use them in a musical way. I just thought I would.
Yeah, and I'm in a group at school right now that's it's called the New Music Ensemble. We're focusing on learning how to play free, so I'm sort of delving into that slowly. Still a learning process, but yeah.
What's next this morning?
Adam Bleil
Adam's-
has an original tune called "Drivin'," a little synth action for you coming your way.
All right. Well, thank you so much
Yeah,
for
of
stopping
course.
by
Thank
this
you very
morning, and we look forward to tracking your progress and this group, my man. All right, Clint Bleil, everybody.
Nice to meet you.
And while you're getting ready to do that, Phil Doyle is texting in saying, how about the Lambdoma, if you're looking for something different? We'll have to rerun that show one day, maybe over spring break. Yes, indeed. How about that? We're listening this morning to Clint Bleil and his orchestra on the Frost Jazz Hour. We're going to take a quick pause for the cause, so stay tuned to the second half. We have more great original music, plus a very special guest who is in the studio that we're going to meet and hear in the second half hour. As we go to break, I just want to remind all of our candidates at the Frost School of Music that it's 72 degrees outside right now, and in Pennsylvania, it's 30-something degrees. Just wanted to run that by you, Justin, just in case there was any doubt in your mind. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes on the Frost Jazz Hour. Clint, can we do... Pork chunks. And we're back this morning on the Frost Jazz Hour, doing a little culinary trip here. We won't get into that right now. We have some very special guests. We've been listening to the music of Clint Bleil and his brother and a great band. And Clint, again, thank you for coming in this morning. And your writing and your playing are incredible.
Thank you very much.
But our next piece features a very special guest. Would you introduce this guest and tell us about this person?
Of course. Well, this lovely lady on my left is my mom. She created me. So thank you very much for that. But she is a vocalist in the Pittsburgh area. She studied at CMU. She did opera there. And now she's doing a lot of jazz stuff and pop stuff and rock stuff in Pittsburgh. And so this next tune that we're going to do was written, not to bring the room down, but we lost 3 of our relatives to cancer in the last 10 years. So we decided to sort of co-write this piece of music to capture that. I'm actually writing about this piece in my paper, so I know a little more about it now, even though I already wrote it. But sort of to capture the emotion of like grief and mourning, but also like celebrating their life. So it's not supposed to be like a sad song or a happy song, but it's like a complicated sort of emotion that we're carrying. So I wrote the music, and she wrote the lyrics, and we kind of created a melody together. We got in a couple arguments over, this is too hard, or this is too easy, and you know, how moms are. But I don't know if you'd like to talk about it, or the lyrics, or anything, or?
Well, again, it came out of some difficult times in pain, and Clint came to me and said he kind of wanted to try and express it. So I just kind of started jotting down some things, some lyrics. They didn't have a whole lot of form, which was difficult because I kind of just shoved lyrics at him that they weren't necessarily in any melodic form at all. So he wrote under that, and then we kind of created the rest of it together, and it kind of came out. I think it's difficult to express what all that does to you. It was my mom and my brother and my father who all passed away within that. This is actually like a 7-year span. But it was definitely therapeutic for us, and I think we're happy with the result.
Well, we can't wait to hear it. I mean, thank you for sharing that story with us. That's pretty inspiring. What's the name of the piece?
That took a while as well.
That took I was trying to release the video that we created on it, and I'm like, you need to name it, we need to name it. And actually, Adam created the name. He decided that it should be called Not Lost, because a lot of times we say, you know, oh, they lost their battle with cancer, as if they like had a choice.
Right.
So we don't think they lost. It's not really what it's about. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm sure this is going to be inspirational
of
for
course.
many, many people. We can't wait to hear it.
But it's a happy song, so everybody be happy.
All right, so Clint and Lisa Bleil, and we're going to go with Not Lost. And you're listening to this incredible music and these wonderful artists this morning on the Frost Jazz Hour.
Day and night, sick, weak, outlook bleak, hope, pray, night and day.
you behind, and I'll be on your mind, but my soul will fly. My soul will soar, my soul will soar. It may tear you apart, and I'll be in your heart, but my soul will fly. Slow pace, days are long, stay strong, no cure, they're sure, fight done, battle won. My soul my soul will fly. My soul will fly. Broken body behind, and I'll be on your mind, but my soul will fly. My soul will soar. My soul will soar. It may tear you apart, and I'll stay in your heart, but my soul will fly.
Tremendous. That was Lisa Bleil with Clint Bleil and his orchestra, his band of renown. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lisa, for coming in. That was beautiful. Really, really nice. We have some more original music this morning, I hope, and let's just get right to it. That was really nice. Thank you again. I really appreciate that. That was great. You're listening this morning to Clint Bleil and his group, a series of original compositions and really great stuff. Clint, thanks again for coming on the show this morning.
Absolutely, it's been a blast.
What a good band too. You guys have a great chemistry, and it's interesting to me also because you've got two siblings in the band. You've got graduate students and freshmen.
Right.
So you've managed to find people who have a remarkable cohesive sound, and they come from different backgrounds and in different parts of the Frost School. That's excellent. You're aware that Daftis Prieto is a faculty member?
I am aware.
Okay. He's a Grammy Award winner.
I think he has a Grammy now.
He has a MacArthur Fellowship.
Yeah.
He teaches in what studio does he?
I think it's like jazz drum set.
Jazz drum set. Yeah, we have that here. Okay. just want to double check my facts. Okay. Man, I was outside today in my shirt sleeves. It was so nice. February, out by the pool. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get back to the show. Okay. All right, good. Justin, it's been a delight to hear you and meet you and hear your artistry in this group. I understand you're a composer as well. That's great. That's wonderful. In all seriousness, though, we would love to have you at the Frost School, but wherever you do end up, good luck to you, and I hope we get to hear you and hear your music often, preferably from the Frost School of Music. But wherever you go, congratulations to you. You're a wonderful drummer, and I've really enjoyed meeting you and hearing you today. And all of you guys, Papacica, on his way to the airport in a few minutes. Let's go to the top of the hour with one more Clint Bleil composition.
Yep.
What do you got?
This last tune is called Big Ball of Cheese.
Is there a story behind that, or you want to just...
When I wrote it, I thought it was kind of cheesy.
Okay.
So I felt like if I named it the Big Ball of Cheese, it'd be a little bit ironic, so it's okay.
Okay.
That's the game plan.
Okay.
But it's also hard, so it doesn't have to do with the cheese
Well, if you
part.
wrote it, I'm sure there's a degree of... Marty has explained to me there's a degree of difficulty to all of your music.
Yeah, actually, we're playing... A different group is playing at the Jazz Forum tomorrow with different music that's harder. And I don't know how happy they are with me, but it's okay.
Well, it might be hard music, but it's also really good music.
Thank you.
So we're enjoying that. How about a hand one more time for Clint Bleil and his orchestra?
Thanks. All right, man. Thanks so much.
And one more quick shout out to our dear friend Jason Cush, running a great program at Slippery Rock. Jason, thank you so much for all that you do and all the great students you send us. Please keep them coming this morning on the Frost Jazz Hour. Wow. What a big ball of cheese. That is the name of that song. I'm not just saying that. That's a great composition. That's a lot of fun. We've been listening this morning to the music of Clint Bleil and his all-star group featuring Miss Lisa Bleil. Thank you for coming in. Mrs. Lisa Bleil. And let's see, who else? I'm filling time because we have 1 minute left. And we have Adam Bleil on the trumpet. And, of course, Rob Papacica on the guitar. Connor Rohrer on the keyboards. Freshman Connor Rohrer on the keyboards. We appreciate that. A special guest, Justin Vorp on the drums. That's an O, not an A, sorry. And everything's held together by mighty Marty Quinn on the bass. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in this morning. Tune in each week on the Frost Jazz Hour to hear incredible talent from the highly acclaimed Frost School of Music. Good morning to you. Thank you, guys. We need a quick picture, and then Papacica's